Have you ever felt like a puppet, just drifting along with the flow of life, doing things that others impose on you, following rules that you never truly agreed to? Have you ever wondered if the life you're living is truly the life your heart desires? I used to feel that way, trapped in a vicious cycle of trying to please everyone, always worrying about whether I was good enough, whether I fit in with the standards society set. I tried to blend into the crowd, trying to become a version that others would easily accept, but that made me lose myself. And then one day I suddenly realized an incredible truth. Most of the social habits we're taught are actually holding us back, not helping us grow. It was a huge shock, a moment of awakening that made me look back at my entire life, ask difficult questions, and face unpleasant truths. I realized that I had wasted too much time and energy living according to other people's expectations, forgetting my true desires and aspirations. I had lost my freedom, my creativity, and the joy in life, and I knew that I couldn't continue living like that anymore. If you also feel like you're trapped in an invisible cage, if you also yearn for a freer and more meaningful life, then it's time for you to take action. It's time for you to bravely step out of that vicious cycle, break away from toxic social habits, and start living a life that is truly yours. It won't be an easy journey. It will require you to face inconveniences, opposition, and even loneliness. But I believe it will be totally worth it. In this video, I will share with you 6 toxic social habits that you need to quietly eliminate if you want to live a free, happy, and fulfilling life. I will share the experiences and lessons I've learned on my journey to find myself again. And remember, real change doesn't need to be loud. It starts with small decisions, quiet actions, and perseverance every day. Let's embark on this journey together and discover the hidden potential within you. 1. Habit: pleasing everyone. The sweet trap of false kindness. Pleasing everyone. A habit that seems harmless, but is actually a sweet trap that makes us mistakenly believe that we are living for others, but in reality we are losing ourselves. We are often taught that caring about other people's feelings is a good virtue, and that pleasing everyone is a way to maintain harmonious relationships. But in reality, trying to please everyone, all the time, everywhere, is a path to fatigue, dissatisfaction, and losing yourself. I used to be an expert in this area, always saying yes to every request, even when I didn't really want to, always trying to smile even when I was very uncomfortable inside, always twisting myself to keep everyone around me happy. I used to think I was being kind, I was being generous, but in reality, I was just putting other people's needs above my own and paying the price with my own happiness and mental health. That kindness is a concept switch. We often confuse kindness with pleasing. Kindness is when you act from your heart with sincerity and genuine compassion, while pleasing is when you act out of fear, anxiety, and a desire to be accepted. When you please everyone, you don't actually care about them. You are just trying to protect yourself from discomfort, rejection, or confrontation. You are trading authenticity for a false sense of security. And the cost of that pleasing is very high. You will feel mentally exhausted, physically drained, and even resentful towards the people you are trying to please. You will lose your self-confidence, self-esteem, and the ability to make decisions for yourself, becoming a puppet controlled by the expectations of others. And in the end, you will feel like you are living a life that is not your own. I remember a time when I was always agreeing to do extra work for my colleagues, even though I had too many personal things to take care of. I thought I was helping them, but in reality, I was just creating more burdens for myself. I was always working late, neglecting my family, and ignoring my personal hobbies. I became stressed, irritable, and easily angered. And sadly, the people I was trying to please didn't seem to appreciate or value what I had done for them. The harsh truth is, the more you try to please everyone, the less respect you get in return. It seems that when you always say yes, you are sending a message that your time, energy, and even your worth are not valuable. You are demeaning yourself and creating opportunities for others to take advantage of you. But then I woke up. The turning point came when I realized that I couldn't continue living like that anymore. I decided to change, to start saying no when I wanted to, without having to give 1,000 reasons to justify myself. I was surprised to see that the world didn't fall apart when I started setting boundaries. In fact, those who truly cared about me respected my new boundaries and admired the self-confidence I had just gained. Some people may have been shocked or even a little uncomfortable, but those reactions showed me who was really by my side. And that's when I realized it was time to let go of what no longer served me. So how can you break this habit? The first step is to recognize that you have the habit of pleasing others. Ask yourself, do you often say yes when you really want to say no? Do you often worry about what others think of you? Do you often trade your own needs to please others? After recognizing the problem, practice saying no politely and directly, without giving too many reasons. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Set clear boundaries for your time, energy, and emotions. Define what you are willing to accept and what you cannot accept. And most importantly, prioritize yourself. Ask yourself what is really important to you, what brings you joy and happiness, and devote time and energy to those things. Remember, you deserve to be loved, respected, and accepted, even if you don't please everyone. Pleasing everyone is a dangerous trap. It makes you lose yourself, lose your freedom, and lose the joy in life. Be brave enough to break this habit, and you will see that life becomes much lighter and more meaningful. Those who truly matter will always be there for you, and those who don't will automatically leave. And from this liberation, we will move into another toxic habit, which also hinders our development in a subtle way, which is 2. Habit, holding on to grudges, invisible shackles that bind the soul. Holding on to grudges, it's like holding a hot coal in your hand, hoping the person who hurt you will feel the pain. But in reality, you are the only one who has to endure the suffering. Hatred does not hurt others, it only hurts you. It is an invisible shackle that binds your soul, preventing you from moving forward and living a happy life. I used to be an expert at holding grudges, always remembering every word, every action that hurt me. I believed that my resentment was a form of justice, a way to protect myself from further hurt. I thought that by holding on to anger, I was in control of the situation and wouldn't be deceived again. But the truth is, holding grudges only made me feel heavy, insecure, and immersed in bitterness. Hatred is a kind of silent poison. It seeps into your mind and heart, gradually destroying your optimism, your faith, and your ability to love. When you hold on to grudges, you are not only punishing the other person, but you are also punishing yourself. We often mistakenly believe that holding on to grudges will make us feel stronger, but the reality is completely the opposite. It only makes you weaker, more vulnerable, and dependent on your own anger. Hatred is like an anchor that keeps you stuck in the past, preventing you from moving into the future. I remember once a close friend betrayed me. I held on to that grudge for years, always replaying the story in my head, imagining different outcomes where I could retaliate and gain justice. But nurturing that hatred didn't make me feel any better. On the contrary, it made me bitter, lose faith in friendship, and lose the ability to forgive. And that is a waste of energy, a waste of precious time in life. Holding on to grudges is like burying yourself in the past, wasting energy thinking about things that have passed, instead of focusing on the present and the future. You are letting the past dominate your life and preventing yourself from experiencing the good things that await you. So it's time for us to change. It's time to free ourselves. Forgiveness does not mean accepting what others have done, nor does it mean you have to forget the hurt you have experienced. Forgiveness is an act of liberation. It frees you from the shackles of hatred and allows you to live a freer and more peaceful life. So how can you let go of hatred? The first step is to realize that hatred does not bring any benefit to you. It only causes more pain and unhappiness for you. After that, choose peace over war. Choose forgiveness over resentment. Remember that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. And remember, forgiveness does not mean you have to forget what happened. You can still remember, but you no longer let those memories control your emotions and your life. Focus on the present and the future. Devote your time and energy to what is important to you, and practice gratitude every day, cherishing the good things in your life. Hatred is too much of a burden. It will pull you down and prevent you from flying high. Be brave enough to let go of hatred, and you will feel an immense sense of relief. Forgiveness is not an easy act, but it is a necessary act for your peace and happiness. Remember, life is too short for you to waste time holding on to grudges. And next, we will explore another habit, which is just as dangerous, which is 3 habit, ignoring warning signs. Head first into the abyss. We have all been in a relationship where we felt that something was wrong, but we tried to ignore the warning signs, hoping things would get better over time. Maybe it was because we were afraid of being alone, or we believed that a miracle would happen. But in reality, ignoring the warning signs in a relationship is a serious mistake. It's like driving a car with your eyes closed. You are sure to have an accident, and the longer you ignore it, the more serious the accident will be. I had ignored warning signs in relationships many times, had been in toxic relationships from the beginning, but instead of facing the truth, I tried to find reasons to excuse it. I told myself that it was just a difficult phase, that everyone has flaws, and maybe I was overreacting. I wanted that relationship to succeed so much that I overlooked every sign that it was on the verge of failure. Ignoring the warning signs is not forgiveness or optimism. It is self-deception. When you choose to ignore warning signs, you are telling yourself that your needs, feelings, and intuition are not important. You are putting the comfort or approval of others above your own happiness and peace. Warning signs don't just disappear. They get bigger and cause more destruction over time. The longer you ignore them, the worse the consequences you will have to face. A small problem can become a big crisis if you don't deal with it from the beginning. I was once in a relationship where my partner constantly said disrespectful, unconcerned, and even deceitful things to me. Even though I felt very uncomfortable and insecure, I still tried to ignore those signs. I thought that if I loved him enough, he would change. But the truth is, he never changed. He continued to hurt me, and eventually the relationship broke up painfully. And that was an expensive lesson. I realized that intuition is your natural defense mechanism. When you feel that something is wrong, it is probably actually wrong. Don't ignore those feelings. They are trying to protect you and guide you to better things. You deserve to be in a relationship where you feel safe, valued, and heard. If you are in a relationship where you are always stressed, worried, or feel insecure, it could be a sign that the relationship is not right for you. So what do you need to do? Listen to your intuition. If you feel that something is wrong, don't ignore it. Learn about the warning signs in relationships, which could be disrespect, dishonesty, control, abuse, or anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Set clear boundaries in your relationship. Define what you are willing to accept and what you cannot accept. If you see too many warning signs in a relationship, be brave enough to walk away. Don't stay just because you are afraid of being alone or hoping things will change. And remember, your mental health is more important than any relationship. Ignoring warning signs not only makes you miss the opportunity to find a better relationship, but also causes serious damage to both your mind and body. Trust your intuition, respect your feelings, and be brave enough to walk away when necessary. Because the most important relationship you have is the relationship with yourself. And now, let's move on to another habit that you may also be making without realizing it, which is 4. Habit, remaining silent on important issues. Dangerous complicity. Remaining silent on important issues is often seen as a way to avoid conflict, maintain peace, and maintain the status quo. But the painful truth is, silence in the face of injustice, wrongdoing, or ethical issues is not a neutral act. It is complicity, an implicit acceptance of the wrongdoing continuing. I used to believe that staying silent was the right way to behave, especially when the issues were sensitive and divisive. I told myself that I had no right to speak up, that my voice would not bring any change. But over time, I realized that my silence was not just a personal shortcoming, but also a betrayal of my own values and an irresponsibility towards the world around me. We often hear the saying, silence is golden, but sometimes silence is a crime. When you remain silent in the face of injustice, you are creating conditions for evil to continue, and you are also hurting yourself. Each of us has a voice, and that voice has power. It can create change, it can bring justice, and it can make the world a better place. Never underestimate the power of your voice. I remember once, I witnessed a wrong action at work. A colleague of mine was treated unfairly, despised, and stripped of dignity. I saw it happen every day, but I didn't dare to speak up. I told myself that it was not my business, that I didn't want to complicate the situation. But my silence gnawed at my conscience and became a constant reminder that I had chosen comfort over courage. And that's a painful truth. When good people stay silent, evil will prevail. Your silence is not without impact. It can hurt others, and it can create a toxic environment for everyone. So it's time for us to change. It's time to raise our voices. Don't think your voice is meaningless. Every voice has value and can make a difference. Even if only one person dares to stand up, that can be a ray of hope for others. So how can you overcome your fear? Recognize that your voice has power and has value. Identify the issues that you care about and are responsible for. Find ways to speak up politely, respectfully, and effectively. You can talk directly, write letters, post on social media, or participate in social activities. Don't be afraid of being opposed or criticized. Remember that you are standing for justice and the truth, and act even when it's just small things. Even if you can't change the world, you can make a difference in someone's life. Silence is not golden, but it is complicity. Be brave enough to speak out against injustice and wrongdoing. Use your voice to create a better world. Remember, silence does not protect you, it will weaken you. Show the world who you are, what you believe in, and what you will fight for. And next, we will explore another habit, which also has a great impact on our lives, which is 5. Habit, seeking constant entertainment, running away from reality. In the modern world, where there are countless sources of entertainment with just one click, seeking constant entertainment has become an almost unavoidable habit. We are surrounded by distractions, from social media, movies, video games, to online trends. All are designed to keep us hooked and constantly coming back for more satisfaction. I used to be a victim of this entertainment spiral too, filling every spare moment by scrolling on my phone, watching movies non-stop, or participating in online trends. I felt comfortable in the moment, but the truth is that constantly seeking entertainment is a subtle form of escapism. It is gradually eroding our ability to face reality, think deeply, and live a meaningful life. Seeking constant entertainment is a form of silent addiction. We turn to it to avoid boredom, discomfort, and sometimes even our own thoughts. But by constantly distracting ourselves, we are missing out on the opportunity to develop, reflect, and truly experience life. We are exchanging deep and meaningful joys for fleeting and temporary pleasures, filling our lives with shallow things, instead of seeking what is really important. I remember some days I would unconsciously switch from one form of entertainment to another without realizing how much time had passed. I was lost in a sea of distractions, deceiving myself that I was just relaxing, but in reality, I was avoiding things that were more important: my own thoughts, emotions, and responsibilities. And that is a sad reality. For many people, the idea of being alone with their thoughts is frightening. Therefore, we try to suppress them with constant forms of entertainment. But in doing so, we have missed the opportunity to understand ourselves better, face the things that make us uncomfortable, and find the true meaning of life. Silence is not boring. It is a space where you can connect with yourself, reflect on life, and find creativity. Don't be afraid of silence. Learn to enjoy it. So how can you escape this spiral of entertainment? Stop seeking constant entertainment. Take time to be alone with your own thoughts. Find activities that bring meaning to your life. It could be reading, journaling, walking, exercising, or participating in social activities. Practice mindfulness in your daily life. Focus on the present, rather than being caught up in the past or the future. Spend time in nature, enjoy the beauty of the world around you, and spend time on real relationships with the people you love. Seeking constant entertainment is not a harmless habit. It is an obstacle to personal growth, self-discovery, and a meaningful life. Let go of the need to be constantly entertained, and you will discover a deeper and more fulfilling life. True happiness does not come from distractions, but from a life of consciousness and purpose. And now we will come to the final habit on this list, and it is also related to how we present ourselves in the world, which is 6 habit, sharing too much personal information. The privacy danger zone. In an era where social media encourages us to share every aspect of our lives with the world, it's easy to fall into the trap of sharing too much personal information. We often see long posts about emotions on Facebook or relationship dramas exposed on Instagram. I used to be a person who had this habit. I believed that sharing difficulties, opinions, and private moments with others, both online and offline, was a way to connect, express authenticity, and build relationships. But in reality, sharing too much personal information does not bring us closer, but often pushes us apart and makes us more vulnerable. I remember when I first started using social media, I thought that sharing openly about my life would help me become closer and help others understand me better. I posted everything from bad days, frustrations at work, to ups and downs in my love life. At first, I felt comfortable sharing everything openly and honestly. But over time, I noticed a worrying thing. Instead of feeling closer to people, I began to feel exposed and even judged. People I didn't even know offered unwanted advice, or worse, used my weaknesses against me. Sharing too much personal information is not authenticity. It's a way to seek acceptance and attract attention, often at the cost of your privacy and dignity. When we share too much, we are often seeking sympathy, agreement, or reassurance from others, rather than dealing with our feelings in a healthy and private way. We may tell ourselves that we are being brave or open, but in reality, we are giving vulnerable parts of ourselves to people who have not earned that trust and closeness. In addition, sharing too much information can affect how others see us. While we may think that being open will make us more likable, it can have the opposite effect. Sharing too much can make others feel uncomfortable, put them in awkward situations, or make them doubt our judgment and boundaries. It can also attract bad people who can take advantage of our vulnerability instead of supporting us. I learned the hard way that not everyone who listens to your story actually cares about your best interests. Some people may just be curious, others may be jealous, or even want to see you fail. Sharing too much personal information made me an easy target for people with bad intentions. And that was an expensive lesson. It showed me that privacy is a form of power, and sharing too much information is a way to give that power away. Not every thought, feeling, or experience needs to be shared with the whole world. There are things that are best kept to yourself, or only shared with people we trust and truly care about our happiness. By holding back, by being more selective about what we share and with whom, we are not being secretive or dishonest, but we are being wise, protecting our dignity, protecting our weaknesses, and maintaining control of our own story. So how can you find a balance? Ask yourself, why do you want to share this information? What are you looking for? Recognition, empathy, or affirmation? Define your privacy boundaries. Decide what you want to share and what you want to keep to yourself. Be selective about the people you truly trust and feel comfortable sharing with. Don't share with just anyone because you feel pressured to. Be careful what you share on social media. Remember that anything you post can be used against you. And finally, focus on building real relationships based on trust, respect, and sincerity. Real connection does not come from sharing too much personal information, but from being selective about what you share and with whom. Remember, your personal details are very precious, and not everyone deserves to have access to them. By setting boundaries around your personal life, you are not closing yourself off, but ensuring that your relationships are built on a foundation of respect, trust, and genuine understanding. And that is much more worthwhile than the momentary satisfaction of sharing too much. So, we've just gone through 6 toxic social habits, from pleasing everyone, holding on to grudges, ignoring warning signs, remaining silent, seeking constant entertainment, to sharing too much personal information. All of these habits, though seemingly harmless, are in fact invisible chains holding us back, preventing us from living a meaningful and fulfilling life. The reason I say you should eliminate them quietly is because true growth doesn't need an audience. Deep change happens in quiet moments, when you are not seeking recognition or approval from anyone, but are simply trying to live according to your values. When you quietly let go of what no longer serves you, you are building a stronger and more authentic life. This is not a grand declaration, but a silent commitment to yourself to live fully, unaffected by the expectations of others. And remember, the journey of eliminating these toxic habits is a personal journey, not a race with anyone. Be patient with yourself, accept mistakes, and keep moving forward. Every small step has value, and every change, no matter how small, makes a big impact. Don't try to be perfect. Accept your flaws and learn to love yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself, and don't get discouraged when you encounter difficulties. Don't hesitate to seek help from those around you. Share your difficulties and receive support from friends, family, or professionals. Don't focus too much on the final result. Focus on the process of change and enjoy every moment of it. And most importantly, live according to the values you believe in. Do what you feel is right, even if it is not accepted by everyone. And now, I want you to join me in looking forward, not with fear, but with confidence and hope. Start eliminating these habits today, little by little, quietly and confidently. Observe the changes in your life as it becomes simpler, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. Life is a journey, and you have the right to choose the path you want to take. Don't let toxic social habits hold you back. Live the life you truly want, a life that you create yourself. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. There are many people out there struggling with similar issues and longing for a more meaningful life. Share your story, connect with like-minded people, and together create a community of people living authentically. Remember, change starts with you, and only when you dare to change can the world around you change too. I believe that each of us has a hidden power within, an extraordinary ability to overcome all difficulties and create the life we truly desire. Never underestimate your own power. Never let toxic habits or the expectations of others prevent you from exploring the infinite potential within. You are unique, you have distinct values, and you have the right to live a life that reflects who you truly are. Be brave enough to step out of your comfort zone, face your fears, and live a life that you feel proud of when you look back. And while you are on this journey, remember that no one is perfect, and no road is entirely smooth. There will be times when you feel discouraged. There will be times when you want to give up. But remember that you are not alone, and always believe in yourself. See difficulties and challenges as opportunities for you to grow and learn. See mistakes as valuable lessons, and keep moving forward with courage, confidence, and hope. Life is not a destination, but a journey. Enjoy every moment of this journey. Cherish the good things and learn from the bad things. Live a life that you feel is meaningful, a life that you feel happy, and a life that you feel free. Remember, you deserve to live such a life, and you have the strength to create it. So take a deep breath, put on a smile, and start your journey today. Don't wait for a perfect time. Don't wait for a miracle to happen. Start right now, with what you have and with who you are. Be true to yourself, pursue your passions, and create a better world. And I believe you will succeed. I believe in you.